$20.
The meeting hadn't started.
It is 8:30, so yes, technically we have.
I don't think so.
Okay, good morning. Welcome to the June 12th meeting of the Board of Riley County Commissioners. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, would you have any public comments? Okay, we'll go to commission comments. Commissioner King?
All right. Over the weekend had a lot of calls and emails about 410 schedule. And we expected to just accumulate those till the end of the month, see what else happens. I also had a call about the Fairgrounds Task Force, exactly what they're working on. I think you got an understanding now. They've got a better understanding of what we're looking at now. Then Saturday, we went on the Extension's garden tour. Always great to see what others have done to their yards and always come on with lots of ideas, things to do.
That's
We
the
still
bad
haven't
thing.
done everything done from last year's ideas, but we're getting some, we've got some stuff. If you're interested in working in your yard, it's never done. There's always, you can always think, oh, we could also do this, so. Got plenty to do, keep them busy this summer. That's it.
Okay, commission report.
Okay. What I didn't do early last week, I guess I made up for it at the end of the week, apparently. So, yeah, Thursday afternoon, I listened in on June's Connecting Kansas Zoom call hosted by KAC. This month's presentation was Kansas tourism partnerships and programs called To the Stars. I think we may have seen a video or something on that during the leadership retreat or something, that 4-minute YouTube video or something. But anyway, Jordan Romerman, marketing manager, Kansas Tourism's within the Department of Kansas Commerce, gave a presentation to discuss that and what the division is doing in general within the Department of Commerce to help ready and promote local communities, to interest travelers and other people into the area, and how to market that to them, and how to promote those plans and ideas using a collaborative type of effort. Friday morning, came down and donated some blood with the American Red Cross during our county blood drive. Been almost a year since I'd done that, but went on off and on some blood pressure medicines that didn't really, I guess, jive with them or something. So I kind of put it off to the side, but now I'll come back to it. So as always, I like to point out how important and easy these donations actually are. I know lots of people have problems with needles and stuff. I get all that, but the Red Cross over the years has made it easy with the rapid pass scheduling system. And they even email you later to let you know where your donation ended up at, which I think is kind of cool as well. So process, as I mentioned, is quick and easy, and it typically ends up saving somebody's life. So I put in a plug to donate in the future, whether it's here within Riley County, and I think we've opened that up to the public now too, and or elsewhere. There's always a blood donation to be had. Friday afternoon, I met with Neil Horton out at Buyer Construction to discuss the Rural Housing Initiative District that's kind of being discussed and looked at. He's probably going to reach out to both of you if he hasn't already, so just be prepared for that. But they've got a project that they're talking about and discussing. Not 100% for sure if it's in the city or in the county or both. So
Yeah, but AI.
Yeah, okay.
Too, but
I'm not really for sure what, I'd have to look at GIS to understand that for sure, but that may be coming up on the horizon somewhere down the road. Also on Friday, we had our pre-law board meeting for June. It's hard to believe it's already June. This meeting was just to put the final details in place for the agenda that will be presented during Tuesday, the 20th at noon. Keep in mind it's on Tuesday this month instead of the usual Monday due to the Juneteenth holiday. Just let everybody know. Pretty standard stuff. The budget is probably the biggest thing on there. Outside of that, nothing that should be too entertaining, I guess I'll say. Friday evening, I went down and attended the, I guess night one, I should say, of the Manhattan High school alumni reunion down in Aggieville. It's fun to have the opportunity to catch up with some Indian alum. Some of those I knew and went to school with, some of those I actually didn't on both ends of the extreme there, because it goes back quite a way. I think it's a pretty cool idea and a pretty cool event. I hope the district continues to do every summer. They're kind of tweaking it every year. I think this is year number 3, if I'm not mistaken on that. I think everybody here locally and maybe within the region is kind of aware of that, but it's really hard to get that advertising out to the larger and broader base across the globe. So we'll see how that turns out. Saturday, attended the 4th annual T-Bars motorcycle rally over in Ogden downtown. That event appears to be growing as well in size. They had some new vendors, some food trucks, lots more people were out. It was kind of cloudy and overcast, and even kind of sprinkled a little bit, but I think last year it was like 8,000 degrees. So contrast. But this event appears, like I said, to be growing in size, and Mother Nature did cooperate to hold off on all the evening entertainment. They had 3 live bands play and some other events and things that went off without a hitch. So I'm glad to see that happened. Sunday morning, I was able to get caught up on some numerous phone calls that had taken place over the week on several different items within the 410s. There was a township issue. I'll discuss with Clancy on that. It's not a big deal, but something I wasn't aware of, and there'll be some legal ramifications or something. So anyway, and that's it for everything I had to do, but I'm going to end on one thing this morning because came across this over the weekend, and I just thought this was just too good not to share. It comes via the Buncy County Sheriff's Office. I've forgotten that the Symphony of the Flint Hills was also on Saturday, so we had lots and lots of stuff going on around the region. So they put this out Saturday morning in advance of Symphony of the Flint Hills. And keep in mind, I think last year that coincided with the storm that happened. We had the tornado here, but they had a microburst there, and it was just kind of messy, but it was out in Wabunsee County. So I'm going to share this via Facebook, so bear with me. So I quote, "Good morning. To my thousands of lords and ladies of high society from Johnson, Douglas, and Riley counties, visiting humble Wabunsee County to enjoy the exquisite, harmonious serenity of the Symphony in the Flint Hills today, welcome." And I should mention, not welcome to, by the way. Okay. Thank you for gracing us. No, it just said welcome, but they could have did welcome to, and that would have just added to it. But anyway, that was just my addition to it. Thank you for gracing us with your presence, and please leave behind as many sales tax dollars as possible. While we may not possess world-class universities or a dense economic juggernaut industrial district as a rural county, but based off of all the accidents I've worked over the years, we do have something here you guys don't: solid driving skills. And we'd like to gently put out the following, and it says clear throat. Do not listen to your GPS and take Headwaters Road to the concert. Your GPS is a lying liar that lies. Yes, I got that right. Headwaters Road equals bad. Helpful visible signs diverting you around equals good. So I put that out. Jan in the triple locked Range Rover, who doesn't know what a locking differential is, and I probably say everybody probably at my age and lower probably doesn't either. Just another addition there. Please follow the very visible and helpful signs we've put out to divert you around the hazard that is Headwaters Road. Jerry and your quarter-century younger fifth trophy wife in the yellow Lambo, I'm assuming that's Lamborghini, by the way, follow the so incredibly visible you can probably see them from space helpful signs we put up to divert you around the rocky agricultural hellscape that is Headwaters Road. I just drove Headwaters Road in my sheriff's F-150 and barely made it out with an intact vertebrae. Folks, if you try, you better know what's up, because even if you don't, not even Johnny Cochran will be able to get you out of that soft tire and suspension destroying sweetness that is Headwaters Road. And you'll end up like Mr. Hanks over here. And I'm assuming Mr. Hanks is the officer that was driving. I'm just putting 2 and 2 together. We are looking forward to a wonderful evening of arts and culture amidst the legitimately nearly indescribable feral majesty of the Flint Hills. Please keep all slurry, long time coming Chardonnay fueled finger pointing. You know what your problem is, Phil. Rants to a minimum. Please stay away from the ditchweed. Don't feed the mountain lions. And for God's sake, stay off of and away from Headwaters Road. But if you do get stuck, we will come and save you. We'll also make fun of you the entire time, but we'll be there all day looking forward to seeing all you fine folks out at the event. Unquote. Wabunsee County Sheriff's Department. That's all I got this morning.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. I guess I'm one of the ladies. I didn't go to it this year. Oh, my goodness. I don't know how to follow that one, John.
Yeah.
I really don't. Well, I don't have a whole lot to say, so. It's a good thing.
No worries. Wabunsee County Sheriff's Department.
He said it all, I think.
I told them I was gonna do this too, so they might be watching. I don't know.
Okay, well, let's see. I had a busy week until about Thursday afternoon. I got caught up with a lot of things around the house and enjoyed the really nice spring weather out in the yard. I didn't go to the master garden tour because I'm always come away with wanting to do more stuff. But I've got enough. But I mean, that's really a good event. So I did speak with several people on 410s and got a lot of emails, messages, that type of thing. So as normal, I'll be studying it very carefully until we make some sort of decision, and be interesting to see what the surveys and the online survey will bring. Let's say, did basic weekend, did a lot of work in the yard and went to church and went to lunch and did do a walk with my dog, a long walk in Seco Park. And I hadn't done that for a while, so it was good to walk around, and it was very quiet. I really looked at the size, and it's just amazing how big that park is. We went through the whole thing, but it was a good day for that. That was good for that to do. That's all I have. So,
Commissioner ready for business?
yes.
First item we have, need a motion for Riley County Board, County Commission Chair to sign the promulgation of the Riley County Emergency Operations Plan.
Promulgation. It's a good word.
It's a good one.
That's a new one. I have to Google that.
Any comments or questions? Or do you have any comment?
No, it's just another form to sign or follow up from June 1st, so. Yeah. And then we're done with it for a while, so.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
So was that every 3 years, 4 years?
This one now will be expiring in 2029.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, they put us on a longer schedule this time.
I remember we went through this.
Problem children, I don't know.
Oh. I know we went through this process in 2019, so I was just putting two and two together. Okay. Well, it's pretty standard to me. I kind of like how they're kind of incorporating a little bit of extra transparency in terms of your local emergency planning committees and what all that entails. That was the only real big change I saw in it. Okay. I guess there's no questions. I'll go ahead and move and approve the Riley County Board of Commission Chair to sign the promulgation sheet.
I'll second.
it's been moved and seconded to have the county commission chair sign the promulgation sheet. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You sign. Thanks, Lori.
Thank you.
Next, I need a motion to approve the highway use permit granting Evergy permission to work in the right of way of replacing existing poles and overhead wire along Gardner Road between Tuttle Creek Boulevard and just north of Cleaver Road.
Looks like they have quite a bit of work to do.
Don't we have a fence viewing up there on that road?
I don't know that it's on that road, but you definitely got two in North County. The best I can tell you.
I was just wondering if this had something to do with that, that's all.
Have those scheduled for sometime in 2025.
Yeah.
If only that were possible.
In fact, I make a motion that he comes back to do all the fence viewings permanently.
I plan to.
All right, I would have make a motion then to approve the highway use permit granting Evergy permission to complete the work as outlined in the permit.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the highway use permit granting Evergy permission to complete the work as outlined on the permit. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sure, please sign.
Not the projector making that noise?
It's next door,
Oh,
our construction project to the east, something going on out there. Next, I need a motion to approve highway use permit for Cox Communications to work in the right of way to bore approximately 12,608 feet of 2-inch conduit with 288 CT fiber optic cable along Wildcat Creek Road between Dry Hop Circle and Skyway Drive, and then along Skyway Drive, West 68th Avenue, and then north along West 68th.
I thought that area already had fiber out there. I guess not. Okay. Now I'll go ahead and move to approve the highway use permit granting Cox Communications permission to complete the work as outlined on the permit.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the highway use permit granting Cox Communication permission to complete the work as outlined on the permit. All in favor?
Aye.
Sure, it's fine.
Do that fun stuff.
Now you're gonna share in that fun here. So. Commissioners, I do have an additional letter after this first one. We'll take them in two separate motions if that's okay, since they're separate entities. The first one is scheduled on the agenda. Need a motion to approve letter of support for broadband provider Cox Communications for Link.
Go ahead, move to approve support letter for broadband provider Cox Communications for Link.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the support the broadband provider Cox Communications for it. Link. All in favor?
All three sign, please.
And I'm assuming they can just come in the office and pick that order up, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The contact person for Cox asked that I actually email one to her, so
No problem.
I can do that. Rich, may I just take one of those three?
See that north. Oh, that's great. Part of the county. This is good, north.
You should say you need one.
Just one. Thank you.
And next, the same motion, but for Twin Valley Commissioners.
Go ahead and make a motion to approve the support letter for broadband provider Twin Valley Telephone for Link.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the support letter for broadband provider Twin Valley Telephone for Link. All in favor?
All three sign, please.
Is there another one? What was three of them?
There's one that has not made a request yet.
Oh, okay.
You just figured how quickly these come about, that the assets are there and just,
I did not submit the third one since
no,
I haven't
no.
asked.
I'm waiting to hear back on that.
Do we know if this is gonna be satellite or is this gonna all be fiber optic?
I'm not for sure what the designations for the grants actually are. It might be both. I think most people are gonna want to do fiber optics just because it's. You could ask for a large scale, large sum to do that, whereas the other stuff, sometimes you've got other options.
Yeah, well, what I'm wondering is if they'll come separately and wanna do all the fiber optic cable, maybe they could get together and put one big cable for all of them.
Well, it's not going in the same locations.
Going in different locations.
Locations,
You
yeah.
got Cox's is talking, one of our Keats and Twin Valley ran theirs out there last
Mhm.
year for
Very
four.
good. And is there any way we could run a big cable for everybody?
Logistically, yeah. Statutorily and legally, no.
So
Yeah.
it just seems counterproductive to keep tearing up the.
I always thought that, local units of government, such as we do, would maybe provide the infrastructure, would be the tubing and the piping, that everybody could do just that, and you could share it, but that's not how it works.
Is it because we're dealing with private companies?
Mhm.
Commissioners have any changes to the minutes?
I don't,
You can see.
I didn't have anything that jumped out at me. No, I make a motion to approve the minutes as written from the June 8th meeting of the Riley County Commission.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded to approve the June 8th meeting of the Riley County Commission. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And the agendas look okay, commissioners?
How did we get the Good Morning Manhattan joint meetings on the same day all of a sudden?
I know, I noticed that too.
Oh, we had it a couple of months.
Makes for a long day, huh?
Yeah, it's always been that way. The only difference now is they have the Good Morning Manhattan every month instead of every other month.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was-
Yeah.
That's been a big change.
I did have one
Well, that's it.
question.
Last month we had budget stuff, so we were here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
At least
It
here we
was
got a
back
break.
and forth.
But it was a long day.
somewhere in the midst of these next two meetings, we should be getting all of our certifications, right?
Valuations.
Yeah.
Staff's working on those right now. I just got one on North Central Kansas. We have to remember we wait on so many valuations from outside counties for joint districts. So we're working on,
Okay.
staff's working on that right now. I'm gonna have a bunch to sign this afternoon, I imagine. Yep.
That's kind of speed. I thought that was coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, it will be.
Have to be done by the 15th into business.
Yeah, we'll have it done. Give the commissioners the sheets that show what our assessed valuation is, the value of them all. Yeah, the county to help us start putting a piece of that puzzle together, and we'll be adjusting the schedule accordingly.
Okay.
Any items for next week's press conference, commissioners? I will be up at 9 o'clock on the year-to-date budget and expenditure reports.
Welcome to.
Yeah.
When Bubba was saying he thought they had to put mount it somewhere and sell it, but he said that had a big enough thing that he said. It's for promotion out. My thought, all you had to do is take off the two.
I didn't see what the big deal about that was to begin with.
It was funny though. What's in the. Having a business class. Dennis said, I didn't know what that was. I said, why didn't we see that? He said, I looked at the plans that I had and went, oh.
Yeah, it's
on there. Yeah. Just nobody
Yeah, I heard
noticed
that.
it. Nobody noticed it.
Well, in normal circumstances, if nobody else had pointed it out, it would have been a big deal. the things we wrap our heads around.
Some things like that, to get made such a big deal about, it just proves to me some people have way too much time. on their
Yeah.
hands.
Well, it was, it made a big deal, but it wasn't. Tens of thousands of people, it was a few hundred people. on Facebook.
Exactly.
It wasn't.
It wasn't the masses coming down there with pitchforks and ready to tar and
If
feather
50
somebody.
people say something on Facebook, they think the whole county.
Yeah,
favor it.
Yeah. You know, social media just like that.
Those gets me from the news reads, oh, this is trending on Twitter. That where you get the news, you know, like. What's on Twitter, I don't, because when you look at it, we're talking about how many people actually have Twitter, but also have. 90% of it's done by, 5% of the population.
I don't like Twitter at all. It's just too much stuff.
There's so much, yeah.
I am. It's a good place to get like real-time news before it gets convoluted and misinformed, but outside of that.
Where do you get news like that?
You can get it off of Twitter a lot of times. I mean,
Guess you'd have to be signed up for Twitter, huh?
yeah,
Yeah, you have to.
That's what.
but I'm saying that's what you have to be able to do. You have to get that in real time. If you don't, then it becomes convoluted.
That's what I was thinking. The news media will say, oh, this is big
Big
This-
trending, yeah.
trending on Twitter. And if you look at the number of people that actually use Twitter.
Well, I remember back when the Joplin tornado happened. The person I follow on there is from Joplin, was down there and had tweeted out some pictures of the hospital down there, and that was the first time I'd heard anything about it, but it literally happened like 5 minutes afterwards.
Well, what gets me is all these different polls that come up. You know, who do they call?
And that's the thing, they never tell you how scientifically they get it, you know?
Yeah, it's just like, where do you get, and it's like every day there's a different poll. How can that be accurate?
Just thinking to myself this morning, because I wasn't watching it, but I heard they're talking about the leader and the presidential, and I'm like, I'm already sick and tired of hearing about this. It's just,
Yeah, it's not even,
I'm already sick and tired of hearing about
it's
this.
not till next year.
It's gonna be a long year and a half.
Except it said the first debate is in August this year.
That's the way it was in 15.
Yeah,
They had the first one in August of 15,
be very.
because there's 8,000 of them running.
It's just like there's already Christmas stuff out in Hobby Lobby. It's like everything starts so early.
I think Black Friday happens sometime in late July now.
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah, skip over all this stuff. You know, we used to get a little break in the summer.
Well, the important thing about it is you just have to disconnect every once in a while and
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
That's why I have a good yard to work in. Let's start digging.
My wife said that's not therapy. I go out there and do.
Mine
the
too.
garden.
It's good therapy. You can stay away from the bugs. With it, bugs and sugars, terrible.
Yeah.
it looks like we'll kind of start moving into that official summer pattern now.
Don't doubt it. I think 90 on Sunday. They're
Yeah.
saying.
It's gonna be in the mid-90s after that.
Coming sooner or later.
I'd rather just get it done and over with.
Weekend, right?
Oh, it was great.
Oh, yeah.
This morning, today's supposed to be nice.
Okay, this will be it.
Yeah, that north wind came through on Sunday, and it was nice for cleaning up the wedding venue that morning. It was good weather for that.
Where'd you have the reception?
Same place, they're there.
So you got one more wedding coming up?
March 16th, my son, he's the oldest but last, so. Have a 9-month reprieve,
You
so,
got a little, like a little.
yeah.
But it's not so much effort and work for his, is it?
I don't know, we'll see, you know, since my wife is now like a professional wedding planner, I imagine
Yeah.
I may lean on her quite a bit, you know, so. We will see. Good morning, Commissioners, Rich Vargo, Riley County Clerk. Thanks, way up there. First report, 2023 year-to-date wages compared to overtime. Budget report, you see in the upper right-hand corner, the 41.67%. It's a point in time of year when these figures were calculated. Just use it as a barometer to see approximately where departments should be budgetarily. You can see when they're in the red with emergency management at 43.8, which is not nothing too significant. EMS ambulance, of course, their overtime is always high, but the overwhelming majority of that overtime is scheduled overtime just due to the nature of their business. Overall on overtime, we're at 2%, so we're not doing too bad on that center column throughout the entire county. Commissioners have any questions on that first page?
Why is emergency management so high? Is that because of fire this year?
Yeah, I don't know. It got my attention too this morning, unfortunately.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
being out,
surprising.
I didn't get to review this on Friday, but yeah, that was my question to him. It's not overly high, so it's just
No,
something we'll
no.
keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Definitely keep an eye on, but yeah, I'm sure it's due to the fires.
That makes sense.
Next report, just a little bit more detailed breakdown on those figures. In the departments, centered here. For regular salaries, seasonal and overtime, give the commissioner snapshot of which area those funds have been expended. Commissioners have any questions on that report? Next is the 2023 year-to-date budget activity using that same 41.7% point in time. There's two errors on here as far as highlighted. Juvenile detention shouldn't be highlighted, and noxious weed, they're both below 40%, the 41.7 as well. So those that should be are the coroner, budget appropriations, and of course the general fund transfers are all done. Those that are higher just due to the nature of when those payments go out to those entities, and of course budget appropriations are either paid quarterly or 50% throughout the year, should balance out by the end of the year. So there's nothing alarming on there to me. I like to look at 3 lines down from the budget appropriations line there, highlighted in the blue, county general. Always point that one out at the atypical 4.68%. That is due to that $3,050,000 that we have in budget stabilization, and none of that being spent, which we don't want to spend it because that means we have trouble. Any questions on that first page, commissioners? Next page, the special alcohol county building and RCPD operation. Once again, it's just due to the timings of when those payments are made on special alcohol and RCPD operations. There's a large appropriation amount getting paid out. County building, it just depends on when those projects that John Ellerman has to pay for various building projects, but nothing alarming at this point.
Let's get out last meeting, last time John was here, he kind of talked about the fact building.
Yeah,
The usual stuff that
she
she
does a good job of work looking at that stuff, but yeah, buildings, yeah, as you know, we had some HVAC stuff early in the year, but these buildings here, and it's just, there's nothing cheap anymore. When you're dealing with building maintenance, so actually, we're not doing very bad, knock on wood. Any questions on the second page, commissioners? Next page are all enterprise funds. Like to point that out because no general ad valorem tax dollars are used from the general taxpayers on these funds. It's all paid for by fees or special assessments for those individuals that own or live in these benefit districts. Everything looks fine with them right now at this point in time. Commissioners have any questions on those? Next is county, a little bit more detailed breakdown of the county general that I referred to earlier. I'd like to remind everyone, personnel, there are no personnel paid out of here as far as hourly wage or compensation on a weekly basis. This is just for separation of service monies. Right now, we're pretty good at $9,000. So also the miscellaneous is the budget stabilization amount I referred to earlier, the $3,050,000. It's showing that none of that has been expended, and that's the reason we're at 4.69%. Any questions on that, commissioners?
Well,
Next is a little bit more detailed breakout, comparison of May of 2022 to May of 2023, and the difference also year to date through May. Just a snapshot commissioners asked for decades ago by now to kind of comparatively see where departments are from compared to the previous year. Not always a great apples to apples comparison, but gives you some information that might be valuable. And if you ever have questions on any differences, let us know and we'd be glad to research it for you. Any questions on that report, Commissioner?
It showed insurance in the negative there,
Insurance.
-6 for May and May in the last 2 years.
Oh, right there. Year to date difference. Yep. Compared to the previous year. Okay, yeah, we can check on that. Good one, Catherine. Any other questions, commissioners? Next report, RCP expenses paid by Riley County. I'd like to remind those that are watching that all of these expenditures, other than budget appropriations, which are shared 80-20 between the city of Manhattan and Riley County. All of these expenditures, physician, anything building related, medically related for inmates, is all paid 100% by Riley County, the public entity alone. The public entity helps in defer those costs. I like this next report a little bit better. Kind of gives a snapshot comparatively from 2016 to 2023 where we're at. You see, once again, unfortunately, it's due to average daily population, which is pretty high right now, and just the type of clientele you're dealing with. Our medical expenses are pretty high at 93,000 for this point in time here, and as you can see, for last few years they have been pretty high, and so this is an area which, you know, we budget based on previous year's experience. But you just never know. Statute says any medical issue that needs immediate attention, we are responsible to pay, and we have no other alternative but to pay it. Building maintenance, good news, it's been doing good for several years, once again, knock on wood. Any questions on those, commissioners? Next is RCPD offsite inmate medical expenses paid by Riley County through Advanced Correctional Healthcare. This, of course, where we get our medical and nursing services through Advanced Correctional Healthcare. This is also the company when Director Pete was in, I referred that we'll be contacting them to see if they have any way to contract with mental health professionals to provide some type of service. It may be an option for us. I don't know if they don't. I would imagine that these types of companies have definitely seen that there's probably a need for that. So I'd imagine they're working on addressing it if they haven't already. So we will see about that. Average daily population 113. Full balance remaining, you can see is 17,693. Any questions on that, commissioners? And also for this time, you're low on our pool balance. Commissioners take more time to look at those or have any additional questions, let us know. We'll be glad to research it for you. That's it, commissioners. Next you have Catherine Hensler at 9:15.
Rich, they're not showing on this form savings from Medicaid.
Oh, is it not on there this time?
No, it's at a 0.
Okay, yep, I'll get that and we'll email it to you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, see that. Yeah, we'll get that to you. Any other questions, commissioners? Okay, thank you. John.
Good morning, Commissioners. Catherine Hassler, Director of the Riley County Historical Museum. We had a wonderful month of May at the museum with higher attendance. In the month of May, there were 227 visitors at the museum, 139 to the Goodnoe House, 27 to the Wolf House Museum, and 113 to the Pioneer Log Cabin. These numbers are really good for the Pioneer Log Cabin, especially. We have had a lot of visitation since we opened in April. Volunteer hours for the month totaled 77.75 hours, and they were generated by 13 individual volunteers. And then the Riley County Historical Society Board of Directors contributed an additional 43.5 hours. The museum also had one community service worker attend or help us at the site, and that generated 10 hours. Generally, community service workers help us out with outdoor activities, cleaning up, sweeping, and washing windows. The Education and Outreach Department was also very busy in May. We continue to host field trips from the public schools, and in May, both Bluemont Elementary and Lee Elementary visited the museum and the Goodnoe House. 37 students from Bluemont and 45 students. I should say, those are combinations of students and teachers, but 45 students and teachers from Lee Elementary also visited. Staff and volunteers assisted with these programs, which included tours of the building, but also a fun Riley County trivia game that the kids and the volunteers participate in. And then the Historical Society provided grant funding for some of the transportation costs. That is something that they do regularly. Curator Highsmith, myself, and 3 volunteers staffed the booth at the Flint Hills Festival, which took place on Saturday, May 6th at the Blue River Plaza next to the Discovery Center. This is an annual event that just showcases the wonderful things that go on in Flint Hills. And of course, we as Riley County wanted to be represented. We had, I will say, 5,500 people attended that event. We hope they all stopped at our booth, but can't guarantee it. But we do like to consider that some form of exposure. Even if they didn't stop, we had people handing out brochures and flyers. We had our signs up, and we were well identified at that event. Our exhibit featured the history of Kansas quilts, Victorian hair art, which is always a point of interest, and some hands-on activities that included quilt pattern puzzles. Kids and adults could make their own Victorian calling cards, and then we networked, which is always good for us. On May the 9th, Curator Highsmith and myself provided the first fireside chat in collaboration with Flight Crew Coffee. The topic of discussion was Selden Villard, an early Riley County sheriff who was killed in the line of duty in Leonardville in 1897. 27 guests attended, and the museum received very positive feedback for that program. However, that was the night that we had all those tornado warnings and tornado watches and a big heavy thunderstorm just about an hour and a half, not even, maybe not, about an hour before the program. And we had a few people call afterwards who said they decided not to come out. So they have asked if we will make this program available in the future, which we certainly will. And because it was, the topic was a bit of a mystery, it's a bit of a cold case. We are conducting additional research and hoping that as we provide this program later on, we can introduce some additional facts that we are able to dig up. The May 15th in focus segment was the same topic, so we were able to take that on air and distribute a bit more widely. Curator Highsmith and myself participated in that interview, and then we also invited a representative of the Riley County Genealogical Society to talk about their upcoming genealogy and history fair that will take place on August 19th. Curator Highsmith has been very busy, as you can see. She authored an article for the Riley County Genealogical Society's publication, which is called Kansas Kin, the May 2023 edition, and it's titled Tips on Preserving History, Installment 2, Sharing Your Findings. If you would be interested in a copy of that, we can certainly make sure it's available to you, but it's also available online through the Genealogical Society's publication, and that is free to the public. A new exhibit has been installed in the county office building case titled Summer Baseball in Manhattan. I hope everybody's seen it as you've been walking through. The exhibit features a short history of the sport in our community, and it centers around the civic baseball leagues that were established for youth. The museum have brought out some of our artifacts for display in this case, which include a woolen uniform and cap, baseball glove, a bat, scorecards, and collectible cards. And then we, of course, tell about some of our famous baseball players from here in Riley County. Please stop and see that while it's up. It is free and in a publicly accessible area just outside the clerk's office. It will be up until sometime in July, in which case the extension will use it for the county fair.
Can you name one of those famous baseball players?
I sure can. Everybody knows Dave Baker.
Okay.
And Dave Baker's family and the athletes that have come out of that family. So there's a couple of the Bakers featured in that. Curator Highsmith is also working on a new temporary exhibit at the museum to replace the Votes for Women, which has been up since 2020. This new exhibit is going to be called Faces of Innovation, Medical Pioneers of Riley County. It will open to the public on July 1st. It's going to be just a public opening. We're not going to have an event going on, but from its pioneer days to modern times, Kansas has served as a bastion of innovation in various fields due to its geographic location and strong-willed residents who have called it home. Regarding medicine, prolific doctors and surgeons such as Dr. Petit, Dr. Clarkson and Dr. Little operated state-of-the-art facilities which implemented novel treatments and greatly benefited life in the Flint Hills. By focusing on the accomplishments of these professionals, the exhibit will also highlight early ambulances, door-to-door wellness checks, and responses to past pandemics like the flu epidemic of 1918. Admission to the Riley County Historical Museum and our exhibits is always free, which we're very proud to offer. And at the same time, Highsmith is also working to update the content of one of our permanent exhibits called, well, known as Land and the People. The section that we're updating is about Riley County's Indigenous people. This section is currently under restoration and will open on or before July 1st. And again, we're not going to have an event for this. It's just a much needed update for this component of the exhibit. In the Department of Collections, in May, 7 donations of items came into the museum. Amongst those, 84 additional individual items were included. Curator Munger was able to also process 15 backlog collections, which totaled 70 items, and of those, only 16 were accessioned into the museum collection. And as we've mentioned before, if anything gets donated to us and does not get accessioned, we follow the directions of the donor. They may want them returned to them. If not, they give us permission to reach out to another institution where it would be better fit. So of the ones we don't keep, we are always trying to find a good and acceptable home for them. Curator Munger also is busy in the month of May assisting us with those field trips. She helps a great deal setting up preparation, logistics, timing, group rotations, and then she helps us plan afterwards, which is a huge help. She has also been working with Mark Leday, excuse me, and Heather Bigwood, both at the KSU Costume and Textiles Museum, in preparation for our Historical Society's quarterly meeting coming up on June 20th, which will be titled Sunbonnets and Calico, Clothing of the Kansas Frontier. We're also trying to do a better job of pulling out artifacts in our collection and getting them out to programs and getting them out to community exhibits. So we will be providing some artifacts for an exhibit during this program. That'll include items like accessories, purses, hats, shoes, things that would supplement and add to the exhibit in the clothing that will be on display and modeled by a couple humans at the event. So they won't just be on mannequins. We will have live models showing off some of this historic clothing. And the time frame for this program essentially will be 1830s to 1860s, when the well-known historic trails were going on through this region. So the Santa Fe Trail, the Oregon Trail, Military Trail, etc. In the archives and library, Curator Glasgow has managed 12 new incoming patron requests for the public and 3 requests of research to support internally. So that could include museum staff, but also county employees in the month of May. There were 5 appointments made to use the research library and 2 walk-in patrons. And then she continues to follow up with outstanding requests submitted previously. She's also been serving on the planning committee for the genealogy and history fair that's taking place on August 19th. I'm always happy to report when there's nothing major going on with building and grounds, which means things are working as they should. The team will be cleaning up again. The month of July is a little slower for us as far as programming and activities. So we will be focusing on going through our education collection, which is non-collection items, non-artifact items. Those are things that we share with teachers. We take out to the public and they can be used as hands-on examples of history. And then we'll also be hitting the Dallas Gallery. That used to be used as a conference space and an education space, and it has been used since at least 2020 as storage, and we have not had access to use it for its intended purpose. Going forward, it will be used for educational purposes and meetings. So we will no longer be using it as storage or gallery space. Just a quick report on some of the special projects going on. The Good No Interpretive Kitchen Garden, I've been talking about it for quite some time. It was, excuse me, finally plowed and prepared by Extension Master Gardener Jim Crawford through the coordination by Greg Eystone. Thank you very much for that support. Then the garden was officially planted last Tuesday, June 6th. One of our staff members, Derek Doty, myself and 5 additional volunteers were out there in the evening and got it planted. We're very happy about that, and we're excited to see how this program evolves as we're able to develop more. We do hope that it will present us with some additional education opportunities where we can do some education programs about historic gardening in this region. And then just a quick note, the Historical Society will be having their last board meeting on June 14th before going on administrative break for the summer. This is something they always do. So the next regular board meeting after this month will be in September of 2023. And then just real quick through our upcoming events, we have another fireside chat scheduled for tomorrow evening, June 13th at 5:30. This will be at Flight Crew Coffee, and our guest speaker this month is going to be Kevin Larson, who many of you probably know very well. He served on both of our boards. He is a retired history teacher and really one of the foremost historians of Northern Riley County. Our topic will be lost communities of Riley County. And again, this is free and open to the public, and we invite you to come out, and we have our fingers crossed that we won't have any wild weather. Like I mentioned, we will have our Historical Society's quarterly meeting with Marla Day on June 20th at 7 p.m. So we'll be at the public library, and it is free and open to the public. Topic is sunbonnets and calico clothing of the Kansas frontier. Also, the new temporary exhibit opening, Faces of Innovation, Medical Pioneers of Riley County, will open on Saturday, July 1st at the museum. Regular hours that day are 2 to 5 and free and open to the public. And we have added a new event. It's called Lemonade on the Lawn, and this is something to thank our volunteers. And so we invite all volunteers to come out, whether they have volunteered with us previously or they're looking at new opportunities. This will be on Tuesday, July 11th at 10 a.m. and it will be at the Goodnoe House State Historic Site. We'll have some tents up and just provide light refreshments, but we also welcome you if you would like to come and attend. Come meet us, come meet our volunteers, and learn a little bit about the Goodnoe House history, as well as that new garden we've been talking about. Also, the upcoming quarterly meeting for the Riley County Historical Museum Board of Trustees will be taking place on Tuesday, July 18th at 4 p.m. This will be the first meeting that we will be holding in our cleaned up Dallas gallery. So we are very, very excited about that. And then just lastly, the Genealogy and History Fair will take place Saturday, August 19th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. This will be at Potter's Hall, Seco Park. It is free and open to the public. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Next, Commissioner, you have Donna on 9:30. And the question to your difference on the insurance was it's due to a timing issue on the paychecks are issued, and it happens twice a year for health insurance.
Oh, okay.
Employees. Understand. Your question.
Oh, Medicaid.
Yeah. It's press conference. I thought John was up next. He is up next. Press conference. Oh.
Carlos himself.
It's his time.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Ellerman, Public Works. I have a public notice. We're going to begin a culvert replacement project on the side of road, scheduled to begin Tuesday, June 20th. Project is located approximately 780 feet north of the Fancy Creek Road. The side of road will be closed through the traffic during construction. Traffic control will be installed at the intersections of Fancy Creek and State Road to direct traffic. The project has been, we figured 5 days, and weather permitting, it should be open for traffic by June 26th.
Thanks, Sean. Thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Elderman on this project update, Public Works at 9:35. Have a good day, Cap.
Thank you. You do as well.
Thank you.
How'd your team do this weekend, John?
I have no idea. Oh, I think they did. They lost twice at least. I didn't see what they did last night.
I didn't catch that either. They were like on a 7-8 game winning streak, weren't they? At least they got out of last place.
Out of the hole that they dug for themselves.
Well, at least they're not the Royals that just keep digging. I think they're within a game and a half of being absolute worst.
Oh, really?
They went 0-6 on the road trip.
That's a Baltimore.
Baltimore's pretty good this year.
Oh, they've had last few years.
Yeah, they actually, they've drafted well, and you can see how that process works. Some teams should
Like,
take
I don't
note of
follow
that.
that close, but I know Baltimore's been down.
They have,
For the bottom for a while.
They finally pulled it together and had a couple of good drafts, and they developed those guys, and they're reaping the rewards. I have noticed that the whole downtown baseball stadium talk has gone away.
Oh, has it?
Yeah. What I saw over the weekend, Jacksonville's got a pretty ambiguous plan moving forward. Gonna renovate the entire stadium, put a glass ceiling on it. And they're putting a whole entertainment, commercial and residential business district in and around it.
right.
Yeah, it's like $2.2 billion total.
Looks like real money.
Owner's gonna pay for half of it, and he wants the taxpayers to pay for the other half. Go figure.
Glory.
That's more than a lot of them.
Well, but here's the key. He's gonna pay for the business district. He wants the money to pay for the stadium. Which to me, it should be the other way around, because he's the one gonna profit off
I
of
would
it.
say you can make, well, but off the business district, you can rent stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Out 3-1.
Yep.
In case you didn't catch it earlier, John, I got some interesting ideas for minimum maintenance signs.
Okay.
For what?
Yeah. Off that, yeah.
Well, what did you say?
What? A minimum weight?
Minimum maintenance signs for minimum maintenance roads.
Oh,
Maintenance roads, yeah.
okay.
Well, bunch of
Can I put them up on buildings?
Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
well, everyone but ours anyway.
Yeah, not our building.
No, just roads,
Just roads?
just roads for now.
Well, we better not have any. Oh, sure.
it's 9:35.
Morning again, Commissioner John Ellerman, Public Works with my monthly update. Kind of cruise through some of these projects, making some headway on some. Winkler Mills Bridge is we are getting ready to put bid documents together and pick out a bid date. Hopefully that'll be soon. Fancy Creek, we've seen that they accepted some documentations online, but no confirmation from anybody from SHPO to tell us that directly, or they were supposed to send us a letter to send to, or the core letter, so we can get our permit. I think once that's there, we're pretty close to getting ready to go on that one. The other two, the Flat Rock and Union Road culverts. We opened bids on June 5th. Evan still has to gather those information to get back to you for approval, but Ebert was low bid on Flat Rock, and Reese Construction was a little bit on Union. And hopefully those bridges can start, and I think it was August, October or October. September, October, something here yet before the end of the year, they will be started. Think we were working on, I got a call from a consultant on a parallel bridge up there, way up north. About right away. Some of that we'll have to. We'll work with the landowners. I'll let Washington County know that we're working on this bridge. This is a road we maintain, so we'll take care of the bridge too. What right of way is very small with, should be a few $100s anyway, but we'll have to make sure we register that right away with their registered deeds in that. Riley County, I don't think Amy will let us register them here. Anyway, so. The Parks Division does some weed control on the football fields for a second application. They've been working on some landscape beds, planting the annuals there at the flagpole and Keats. Buffalo grass will be planted here, then actually it was planted last week, Thursday, Friday.
Before or after the rain?
Little bit before the rain. The weekend rain anyway. So that should all be good. The grass should be coming up, starting to get warm again, just right for that type of grass. Mowing, of course, has picked up pretty well in all the parks. They have moved the storage container for the fair out from Public Works down to behind the wreath hall. Looks pretty good. They did a good job setting it up in there, kind of hidden behind the building. You could see it from the grants or the rodeo arena, but it doesn't look too bad where it's at. It'll help with logistics during fair time to bring in materials and is right now it's empty, but as we bring stuff down to the fair, well, when we put it away, it'll go right into that container. Operations crew have been patching and getting ahead of the asphalt projects. As of now, Schilling has not started any of the projects yet. They were going to come in as they get some time and work on a couple roads at a time. So we'll start and stop the project. Once they start a road, they're supposed to finish the road. It's the way I wanted them to do. I don't want them leaving in the middle of a road. We're going to allow them to kind of go until we get closer to the end of the year and make sure they get it done on time this summer. So gravel road maintenance, of course, while we had some moisture, good moisture, we can start or do some good maintenance on them. Dust control, still waiting to be scheduled with them. Hopefully next week, I think, is when they were trying to schedule.
What part of the county are we doing this year?
Well, just all of the people that have signed up.
Oh,
Dust
gotcha.
control.
Gotcha.
And then all of those roads that hit that level, Wildcat Creek
Mhm.
down in Fairmount Park, and there should be one or two others that would, ORV Road. North, that we do on our own all the time, and then the others are by request and as they pay for the material. The Lacida culvert just announced this morning, should start next week. And we did some and finished up some concrete patching. We did our concrete work. We put we fixed the drive under the household hazardous waste boat drive-through. We tore that out and replaced that and then did some asphalt patching as concrete truss came in and kind of tore up some of the asphalt. Patched the asphalt, did some other work around there too, so it's got some good, it looks good now, so. Last week we talked about dump trucks, hopefully they're coming soon still. Public safety headquarters, They've had some scoping changes. David talked about those on Thursday. North County Station, I think David talked about that too. The footings and the floor have been poured. University Park Lagoon project, had the meters out. And we have the lagoons somewhat sized to know how much flow we want to put in and know how big an area we need for property. We've reached out to University Park Improvement Board and a few landowners around. We sent letters out to ask permission to drill, and so far, with the help of University Park Board, they made contact, a verbal contact with them with the initial, and so far all of them are open to at least exploring locations. So I'm not good luck, good news so far. At least it's hopeful. Still working on grant applications. But O'Brien was working on that small town water, wastewater, our sewer grant. Evan's been working on USDA and KDHE rural funds. So yeah, that's been his priority the last couple of weeks and probably the next couple going forward. We have a purchasing agent and some seasonal positions open.
How many of the seasonals?
We've had two hired.
That was out of 4.
And then about 4 now. We may have a traffic control position open here. Soon. Just how things work out with that. Working with Clancy on the parking lot agreement with Mr. Shirley for Wildcat Park. I think that's been sent to him and we're waiting for him to make the signature.
Okay. Creek Park.
Oh,
Down by.
okay. Yeah, I know Wildcat Creek Park, but I thought there was another, just Wildcat Park.
Maybe that's the Wildcat Park.
Oh, okay, okay.
It kind of butts up against Wildcat Creek, so I get them, yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
I know.
Wildcat Park.
Oh, believe me, I know where that's at.
And
Yeah.
And how?
We're not gonna talk about that. We're just gonna leave that alone.
Total Cove Road right of way vacation public hearing is set up for the 26th. And we should be good to go on that. If there are any questions.
Park meeting tomorrow night, right?
Oh, yeah, I do.
6:15? 6:15?
You know what?
6:30.
Dave, love.
I didn't either. 6:15 or 6:30, one of the two.
Good, thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
Okay, and Mr. Bowman at 9:50.
Yeah, Kentucky Wildcats got swept over the weekend.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Any Big 12 team still in it?
TCU,
Or then,
and they made it so long.
well, it's good to know we got beat by one of the best at the end of the season and in the tournament.
Texas lost to Stanford.
Great.
No. Texas could make it. It's the tied at 1. They'll play the final
Gotcha.
game tonight.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not sure
Oklahoma
about
soft-
Texas since they're leaving anyway.
Yeah,
Oklahoma softball is the goal one.
not crazy. 53 in a row.
They played a lot, their record this year was like 63-1. They
Yeah.
played a lot of games.
Those girls, like, they have like 3 starting pitchers, so they. Guy from Stanford against Texas yesterday had 16 strikeouts and 156 pitches. Complete game.
How'd that game turn out?
Stanford won.
I saw it earlier in the game and I got away from it.
That's why I was reading the news and I thought. Well, speak had gone, they were talking about her in the home game, she went to Stanford.
Mhm.
She's. Yeah, Some of those softball. Amazing.
Oh, I know. Some of the plays they make. We must be in trouble this morning. We got all the attorneys here. K-State got a good pickup, basketball.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Kid from,
From Creighton,
yeah,
a transfer from Creighton. 6'7", 2, size wise, and it sounds like kind of Keontae. I mean, he's not gonna be Keontae Johnson, but that size of a player.
he's got 2 years of eligibility. He was rated the fifth transfer prospect in the country.
Oh, really?
Kentucky and Alabama were after him.
Yeah.
Should have seen the Kentucky, well, I was on the Kentucky thread board last night for baseball and picked up on that. Everyone's real happy about it.
Alabama, but there's somebody else a couple days ago, and that's when they.
Kelly, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, how are you?
Right. Good weekend?
I didn't do very much, which is sometimes a good weekend.
Sometimes those are the best.
Mhm.
Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, busy. Busy.
Frank, you have a short timer's calendar yet? How many days?
I'm still counting months.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't gotten
You got 9 days. Yeah.
days yet.
Still at the depressing month stage, huh? Not days yet, huh? Go by fast.
So apparently, we got like 3 packages being delivered today. It's like Christmas. Except I know what they are.
I got some mail Saturday from Pika. The stamp was mailed April 12th.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Lucky it wasn't urgent.
No kidding. That was one life and death. Seeing bits and pieces of the video they put together, taking down the top 3 or 4 floors of the docking building over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought one of those that they set dynamite for the whole thing. That's strategically taking bits and pieces of it out, and shrinking it. I think it's a waste myself, but whatever. 2 years are gonna complain about space and it's gonna be like, of course.
Hey, less space.
Yeah.
They had that building done, that thing.
Well, they did, but if you were gonna renovate the other floors of it, you might as well renovate those floors along with it. It's cheaper than tearing it down, I would think.
You would think.
Who knows?
And you could lease it.
They
What a novel
always
concept.
got space for state.
No, I think that's just the excuse to build new is what it is.
Hey, guess
State office
building.
Oh. Yeah, I thought they were toward that.
They're still working on it.
That's
My dad
just-
worked.
Slow and methodically like everything else.
My dad worked on that building. He built it.
Really.
Yeah.
It's 9:50, I see.
Morning Commissioners, Clancy Holman, Riley County Counselor. With your permission, I'd like to cede my time originally to, at least at the beginning, to Craig Cox, Deputy County Counselor and Deputy County Counselor Michelle Woodard, and for report on the tax form. You are now.
Surprise.
I do have a handout for you today.
Oh, boy.
Input problems.
Next page, one night.
For everybody. No, I have.
No.
I know that. River Trail. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep, had a conversation about that on Saturday.
Good morning, Commissioners. Craig Cox, Deputy County Counselor. I just want to give you, this will be your last update before the tax sale, which is next Friday. June 23rd, begins at 10 a.m. in the downstairs room at the Public Works Facility north of town. The first page of the handout just gives you a summary of the basic information on the property that we have. I will say that we just had a redemption late last week, and so the residential family number may be down by 1. I'm pretty sure this was done before the redemption came in. So and also towards the bottom, our redemption numbers of $65,000. I think will go up a little bit because I do think that redemption came in after we got this done. If that's right, we currently have 10 residential, we have 9 residential properties, 3 owner, those numbers have changed some, but 3 owner occupied, 3 abandoned, unoccupied, and 4 rental properties. The map I handed out, I just want to explain to you what we're doing on the river trail properties. I still call those the rim properties back in the good old days. I've got up on the first page or in the upper right hand corner, we have a color coded index for you. The purple properties are the ones we're going to sell this year on both pages. And if you'll notice that they're groups of 9 individual lots. We had 2 of those last year, and we think that they're a better way to sell these lots instead of selling each little tiny lot separately. And on both pages, you're going to see some blue and yellow, and what the yellow are individual lots that were eligible for this year, but they were kind of outliers. They didn't form a complete 9-lot unit. And so we took those out of this year's case, put them with the blue lots, which are the lots eligible for next year. And by doing that, then we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 9-lot units we can sell next year. So we just don't want to try to, it's not good marketing to sell those as individual lots. And that gets me into the bidder we had last year was the city of Ogden, and they've indicated they're going to come in and bid this year. I actually do have a call on your agenda for Thursday to talk about that more in detail. There's some issues. Well, there's some facts we need to talk about in regards to Ogden being the bidder. But they are the logical bidder to bid on these because they're really the only entity out there that can rezone them and market them in a way that maybe in the future that property could be sold and put into productive use. Everything looks well for the sale. We have as of late last week, we have 59 people registered as bidders. That doesn't mean all 59 would show up, but it's always good to have a high number going in. Probably at least guarantee us maybe 25 bidders at the sales. So the bidding numbers are looking good. We're just bidding our time now, working some of the owner occupied properties to see if there's any way we can not sell those out from underneath somebody. I'm actually going to be making a personal visit to one on Wednesday because the individual has been non-communicated with us the entire duration of the case, and I did go out and talk to them last year at their home, and so I'm going to try that again this year. We'll just see what happens from that. Any questions? As always, you're more than welcome to attend the auction. As I always say, it's an interesting slice of life to see the bidders out there and the interplay between. We have some competitive bidding on some properties, so it's just it's an interesting experience to at least view one tax auction. So you're always more than welcome to come. Yeah, we'll have some coffee and pastries for staff, so to get us through the sale. But you're more than welcome to come.
Now, are these like single family homes or are they mobile homes or what is? it? Yeah.
That's all empty.
There's just lots.
Yeah,
Lots.
yeah,
Okay.
Lots where that's all been developed in a small way.
Oh,
Southside.
okay, that's.
yeah. That's not,
Figure out. where-
this rim property, it's just all bare dirt. They were initially platted for, those long narrow lots were platted for condominiums.
Condo.
Yeah, and so, the only thing that ever got built out there were those multicolored apartments along the highway. And everything else is the open space behind them and around them.
And you said some were owner occupied, is that in the?
Well, no, on this sheet, we have some homes that are owner occupied. I'm sorry. I kind of may have been jumping around a little bit, but on the reviewed on the top of that first page of the total of 37 properties, we still do have some owner occupied residential property that we're working with.
Thank you for clarifying that.
And we do have our usual supply of Bridgeview Heights vacant lots. I just wanted to come in and touch base with you about a week out from the auction and seem like things are going well.
And that's on the 23rd at 10 a.m. at Public Works Building, is that correct?
Right, downstairs in the training room.
I am making plans on attending because I need to see one.
And for that day, you kind of walk around the side of the building, there's sidewalk there, and that's the entrance for the sale. You don't need to go upstairs and come down. You can kind of walk around the side, and there's a ground level entrance into the room. And if you can get by our security guard here,
No, I'm going up top.
You can get into the
The
thing.
usual three forms of ID.
How many IDs we need? Our office staff and all the other offices, we have the clerk's office is involved, public works is involved. Through the course of the year, the appraiser's office, RCPD, county staff appreciates the commission's support they provide for the tax sale every year.
Treasurer's office.
And the treasurer's office. Thanks, Rich. And we're still missing somebody, I think, but that's okay.
Just think.
Oh, the district court.
District court,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's their state, but they're a critical factor. They take the money that day. So
Yeah.
we need to have them there.
When I have RCPD present that conducts the auction.
What's that?
RCPD.
I think I did mention RCPD, yeah. They provide the auctioneer. We've had really good ones over the year. Brian London will be this will be his third sale for us, so we have a good seasoned auctioneer. That's all I have. Okay, any questions? Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks.
Commissioners, Clancy Holman, Riley County Counselor again, just want to go through the project list. First of all, I'll ask if you have any questions on anything that's on all the bold type is the newer items. Still working on getting them getting dates and times and locations for to get approved by the applicants for the couple of fence fees that have come in already. I'll let you know that as soon as we get it done, continuing to do research on the appeal. Pending for the First Christian Church decision in the district court. The appeal will be to the Court of Appeals. Probably just worthwhile things to mention to you. Do you have any questions on that? That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you. Thanks, Charlie.
That includes all of our business.
That's just, anything else
Oh, yeah.
about.
Oh. Wow. Yeah.
know.
That's a first for a while.
I think they want an executive session.
No.
Okay. We'll hold it to an hour and a half.
I don't think so.
Not even gonna ask.
I don't have anything else. Nope. Okay, I guess with that, we'll make a motion to adjourn this very short meeting of the Riley County Commission today.
Second.
So moved and seconded to adjourn the June 12th meeting of the Board of Raleigh County